So I've launched 3 startups in the past year, and 2 of them failed within weeks. But what I learned from those failures completely changed the way that I grow a company. And right now, I'm building a marketing agency. In this video, I'm going to be telling you exactly why. Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'm going to be talking about my experience as an entrepreneur for the past 6 months. So in this video, I'm going to share all the mistakes that I went through. So if you're someone who wants to start your own company, you can avoid these mistakes too. So let's dive in. The first company that I tried to pursue was actually right after my PhD. As some of you know who has been subscribed to my channel, it took me around 6 months to find a job after I completed my PhD. In the meantime, I've been exploring trying to start my own company in various different domains. For my first company, I wanted to get into social media and learn about all the algorithms. So I identified this huge problem with social media. I read this research paper that talked about how social media isn't for connecting with people anymore. And if you think about it, things like Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, they're social media platforms made to connect people together. But nowadays, there's this weird shift happening. People are turning more into consumers rather than creators. And then there's this clear delineation between what is a creator and what is a consumer. And this creates a really toxic cycle that I'm sure you have all experienced. So people who actually want to post things get this anxiety of their content isn't good enough to post. So then they end up not posting anything. Meanwhile, they're getting addicted to all these high quality videos that content creators are creating. It created this weird situation where people aren't connecting with others anymore. They aren't sharing their pictures, they aren't sharing their videos. So social media is really just a performance platform. So then I thought, what if I could solve this? I created this app idea. Basically, it's AI for introverts or people who don't want to reach out to their friends. Honestly, I thought it had a lot of potential. So here's how it worked. The app was called Doppler. So it was a play on words on doppelganger. And it was like a Sims game where you could customize your character, but powered by AI, you could customize the personality of your character. So you could add your values of what you're interested in. You could add things that you like to do. So the prototype that I created featured a little box that was moving around the room. And then I added things that the user was interested in. So then this little box would move around the room in the random algorithm. And then whenever it got close to something that the user liked, it would randomly use that item. Sometimes it would go running, sometimes it would jump on the bike, and sometimes it would jump on a computer and start learning, because those are the things that I'm interested in. And here's where it gets interesting and where I learned my first lesson. Just to give you some context, I was inspired by this Stanford research paper that talked about how they created an AI agent town where it had all these AI agents and they were all autonomously talking to each other. So what I thought in my app was that your AI agent could randomly talk to other AI agents that are around. Then at the end of the day, you would come back to the app and then you would see, oh, your friend went to the zoo or went to Japan with another friend that you haven't connected for a while. And then I had this grand plan where your AI agent would talk to your friend who you haven't talked to in a while and create AI images of what it would be like for you and that friend to go to Japan together. I thought I could market this to travel agencies. I could show off what if scenarios of people traveling to a different country. My friends said it was a good idea and some of them would use it. And this is lesson number 1 that I learned. Your friends will always tell you that it's a good idea. They'll give you words of encouragement, but it might not necessarily be the honest review that you need. So I got to a point where I was halfway building through the prototype. I was working on the project for a month, but it was a good thing in the meantime, as I was building it, I started talking to more friends. And then I started to learn what they were interested in. Some people were telling me that it wasn't a good idea. After hearing from someone that they wouldn't use it, I got to think, why is this even needed? And then I had another mentor session from the University of Hawaii. They have this program where if you are affiliated with the university, you're able to reach out to some of the tech founders. My mentor asked me a series of questions. The first one was, are you really solving a problem? Is it a problem that's worth solving? And is it a problem that people actually want to solve? That got me thinking, maybe my idea isn't so good after all. He was pushing me more towards B2B businesses, where you work with companies to solve a business problem. And that really opened my eyes to all the opportunities that I could use to make money instead of just making an app that I thought was cool. So then that was the end of that company. It was very short-lived. I built the app for a month or so. But the good thing is I got out early. A lot of entrepreneurs build an app for months, sometimes even years before they start talking to their first customer. And then they release it and find out nobody actually wants to use it. So I avoided that trap. So for my next company, I started to look into B2B businesses, following what my mentor said. So my fiance is a physical therapist, and I also have a passion for fitness. I've been in the fitness industry, as you might say, for the past 15 years or so. One of the problems she was encountering was finding exercises for her patients. There wasn't a good repository where you could find exercises. Things are scattered. She told me she went to 3 different websites to find exercises. Sometimes she would just go to YouTube and try to find exercises. Everybody's different. So when you're in physical therapy, you just can't pick standard exercises. Sometimes you got to be creative because people might have bad knees. Some people might have torn their ACL. There might have been something wrong with their shoulder. So you just have to pick an exercise, and then you have to be very creative on choosing an exercise that helps the patient but also avoids strenuous activity for their injury. So I wanted to build an exercise platform where physical therapists could upload information about their patient, and using the power of AI, it could generate a personalized exercise program just for the patient. And the therapist could fine-tune those exercises by picking exercises they thought would be important. Seems like a good idea, right? But then I ran into this massive problem. The issue was pretty simple. I just didn't have the resources necessary to create an app like that. So then that required videos and pictures of people actually doing the exercise. So then I looked all over the internet to try to find free exercises that I could use. I found some GitHub repositories, and then I ran into licensing issues because you just can't use randomly pictures and videos that you find online. I'm not looking to get sued. So then I'd have to do the exercises myself, but that would require a lot of time and a lot of equipment in order for me to build something very professional. And then that was it. It was a very short-lived project. I just simply didn't have enough data. Looking back at it, it's definitely a viable solution, but I also didn't do any research into what other companies are actually doing. So these first 2 businesses was me trying to just build something very quickly, and I didn't do any research into the market like. But things were about to change on how I approach building a startup. So moving on to my next app called Baby Whispers. I made a little video about it a month ago. I can pop up the video right here. I know how to do that now with my video editing skills. This came from a real problem that me and my fiance was having. So my fiance and I are expecting to have a baby soon. And then I found out that if you read to your child while they're still in the womb, it actually helps develop their language center in their brain. So then I will go to ChatGPT and I would generate a custom AI story just for me to read to my unborn child. I couldn't find any stories online for reading to your baby. So then what if I created an app that generates personalized stories for you as a parent to read to your child? And I embedded some entrepreneurial lessons in there. So you guys can check it out. It's still free to use. It's been up for a couple months, but I haven't had anyone access the website. So this time I was actually trying to solve a problem that I found in my life. Then I reached out to my friends and family because a lot of my family members have children, but I found it's very difficult to get people to use the app, mainly because the people I was talking to, like my family members, don't like reading. And it's hard to get someone to start reading to the children when they don't even read for themselves. So I put that app on hold, but this is where everything shifted for me. I realized that if I wanted to create an app, I needed to know how to market. So this is the assumption that I'm operating under right now, is that in order to be a successful entrepreneur, you need to be either good in sales or marketing. And if I can market an app, I can market any app. So I started learning everything about marketing. Around this time when I was trying to learn about marketing, I was actually starting up my business name. So then I went through the whole process of going to the DMAA to get my business name registered, which is Mana AI LLC. And when I started creating it, it was with the intention of bringing AI to web applications for businesses. But the problem is it took around 4 months in order for me to actually get the business name. And then it took me another month to get my EIN from the IRS website. So it took 5 months in order for me to get my business created. But now there's this entity that's been created. It's called Mana AI, and I own it. And about a week ago, over the holidays, I got my bank set up. I got my credit card. I got my finances in ready for 2026. So I'm ready to start doing business in 2026. So then I had my business set up, and all I needed to do is just learn how to do marketing. Okay, so now I have 2 clients that I'm focusing on. One of them is a gym wear clothing company. I have a friend who has a company called Fitness Serve Daily. Go ahead and check it out. I'll leave a link below in the description. But basically, I'm doing some marketing for him on Meta ads. And my sister is a cosmetologist and she wants to do more weddings. That's where she gets the most money from. And I created this website called kawaiweddingbeauty.com, and I'm also doing some advertisements for her. So here's the real reason why I'm doing this. I don't know if the apps that I'm creating is shit or not. So my thinking is, if I can market someone else's product or service, something that's already been proven to work, because they have people that's coming back to them, that means I'm isolating the variable of the product or service, and I'm just focusing on getting the service or product out there. I'm just focusing on the marketing portion of it. So what's the constraint of my skills? If I can market someone else's product or service, then I need to learn how to do marketing. And I don't want the app to be the constraint. I want to know if I'm the constraint. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about my clients. My first client, who has been selling gym wear clothing, has been selling them for around 3 years. And I'm learning how to do Meta advertisements, so I've been running some advertisements for him, and I've also made some updates to his website to make it easier for people to see his products and for people to trust him. During Black Friday week, I actually got people to go to his website, which generated an all-time high for the number of visitors that actually went to his website. But then I discovered something that was burning through my money. I wasn't getting any return on my investment. I went to check out what people were actually doing when they visited the website, and the bounce rate was extremely high. So I had people that were coming into the website and they were immediately leaving, and those were most likely bots. Those bots were using my money to optimize the algorithm to find more bots just like them. Then I learned about optimizing your ad campaign to sales or leads. In order to do that, I needed control of the website, and my friend controls the Shopify website. So it's a little bit challenging for me to optimize the algorithm when he controls it. So then I contacted my sister, my mom, and my brother, who all have their own businesses. So I come from a family of entrepreneurs. I started with my sister. She wants to do more weddings because she's a cosmetologist, and it's funny because she doesn't even have a website. So I made this whole website for her. It's called Kauai Wedding Beauty. If you guys are getting married soon, you can contact her. I created some Meta advertisements. Now I can optimize the Meta advertisements to find other potential clients who will book with her through the website. So I went ahead and did some marketing for her. I found out what is the messaging that other hairstylists have, what are all the problems that brides run into when they try to do some wedding in another state or another country like Hawaii, where it's very humid. People might have frizzy hair. You need to also watch out for your makeup. And then I have an all-winning advertisement, and it has a pretty high click-through rate, surprisingly. And then I'm getting some leads. There's a new problem that I'm facing. So the problem is with the leads that I'm getting. I called a few of them. I also had a friend who called a few of them, and I gave some to my sister who tried to call them, and none of them answers their phone. So I'm starting to wonder whether those leads are real or not. I went onto YouTube and saw that people are running into the same issue. So I updated the meta advertisements to have some more friction, because at the moment when people go to the advertisement, they can pre-fill their information and then they can submit it, so it doesn't do any verification for the user. So then the user actually needs to type in their phone number, and then they'll get a text on their phone, and they need to type in the code back to the Facebook advertisements. This creates some friction. So if it was a fake lead, if I add too many variables for them to get to the end, they might end up leaving. And if I wanted to build a business on this, then I need to get those leads correctly. And once I can get something going, then I can officially say I have some beginner knowledge on getting customers. So that's where I'm at now. I'm doing some experimentation on marketing, and I'm also growing this YouTube channel, but I'm also doing some market research for other ventures that I want to explore. So I have this idea of just wanting to create things that are very useful. So I'm doing a lot of research for my job. I also love learning, and I have my PhD in computer science. So it'd be pretty cool if I could create an app that makes it easier for people in computer science that wants to learn more about AI. Something like a automatic research finding tool that does like research for the user. That seems really interesting to me. It might be something that I could use for this YouTube channel if I wanted to do some research on the next AI topic. Yeah, so that's my life right now. That's everything that I'm going through. So if you guys want to learn more about my life, my company, if you like this style of videos of me explaining about my life, go ahead and comment down below. Let me know. If you also like this video, it really means a lot to me. When you like it, it recommends it to other people. And it would also mean a lot to me if you could subscribe. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this content. And then I'll see you guys in the next video.